Let me tell you something right now, and I need everybody to hear me clearly when I say this. Derek Harmon isn't just another young defensive lineman the Steelers threw into the rotation because they needed another big body. No, no, no. This dude is different. This is a 6'4", 300-plus-pound grown man who moves like he forgot he is supposed to be that size. He has heavy hands, length, real explosion, and the kind of frame that makes offensive linemen look across the line like, man, we got to deal with this for 4 quarters? And the crazy part is, year one was only the preview. That was not the movie. Because when you watched Harmon as a rookie, even with the bumps, even with him still figuring out how to win against grown guards who have been doing this for years, the flashes were loud. You saw him affect the run game. You saw him collapse pockets. You saw him win with length. You saw him strike first and change the math at the line of scrimmage. And that is what makes year two so scary, because a lot of rookies are just trying to survive. Harmon already showed he belongs. Now you give him a full offseason to get stronger, clean up the details, study his own tape, and come back with a real plan. Come on now. That is not fair. That is a problem. And please don't be the person who looks at only sacks and acts like that, tells the whole story. That is box score watching. Interior defensive line play is about disruption. It is about blowing up a guard so the quarterback has nowhere to step. It is about eating a double team, resetting the line of scrimmage, and letting the linebackers run free. It is about taking a normal run play and making it ugly before the back even gets started. Harmon did a lot of that as a rookie. The Steelers felt tougher when he was out there. He gave them weight. He gave them push. He gave them a nastier presence in the middle, and you could feel him changing the tone up front. That is what I love about him. He is not just some pass rush defensive tackle who wants to look pretty on third down. He can anchor, he can strike, he can shed, he can chase, he can squeeze gaps, he can play with power, but he also has enough athletic ability to shoot through a crease before the guard even gets his hands right. You don't draft a guy like this just because he is big. There are a lot of big dudes in football. You draft him because he is big, long, explosive, violent with his hands, and built with tools that make you ask, once this dude puts it together, what is the offense supposed to do? In year two, Harmon is not walking in like some kid trying to prove he can play. He already proved that. Now he is walking in like a dude who knows what he is, knows what he can become, and knows if he cleans up the small stuff, he can become a nightmare every Sunday. That is why the ceiling feels so real. The flashes were not fake. But here's the part that makes this thing feel unfair in the best way possible. Harmon isn't learning by himself. He isn't sitting in some room hoping he figures it out. No, he has Cam Heyward right there. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. Cam is one of the best defensive linemen this franchise has ever had, and he has seen every block, every little trick offensive linemen use when they know they cannot just beat you straight up. He knows how to win with leverage. He knows how to win with timing. He knows how to use his hands. He knows how to study a guard and catch the tiny tells that change a game. That's the stuff young players usually have to learn the hard way. Harmon gets to learn it from Cam. That's a cheat code, because when you already have Harmon's frame, Harmon's explosion, Harmon's length, Harmon's power, and then you put Cam Heyward's knowledge on top of it, what exactly are we doing here? How is that supposed to be fair? You are taking a first-round talent with freakish interior traits and pairing him with a mentor who can teach him how to become a professional menace. That's the Steelers being the Steelers. And you know Cam isn't going to let him just get by on talent. Cam isn't going to let him be a flash player. Cam isn't going to let him be a guy who gives you 2 good plays and then disappears for a quarter. Cam is going to teach him how to be consistent, how to play with his pads down, how to keep his hands active, how to feel the double team before it fully arrives, how to recognize when a guard is giving away a screen, how to turn pressures into sacks, how to turn stalemates into wins, how to become the kind of player offensive coordinators have to circle before the game even starts. And when Harmon gets that part, when the game slows down for him, when he stops just reacting and starts dictating, that's when he becomes a monster, because the physical tools are already there. He was already helping change the Steelers' run defense. He was already making plays in big moments. He was already showing that he could affect games without everything being built around him. Now imagine that same player with more strength, better conditioning, sharper technique, a deeper pass rush plan, and a full year of Cam in his ear. That's a scary sight. That's when offensive lines start sliding help inside, and once they do that, now the edge rushers are licking their chops. Harmon doesn't even have to get 10 sacks to wreck your offense. He just has to make the pocket uncomfortable. He just has to make the run game ugly. He just has to force centers and guards to panic, and when he does that, the whole defense eats. That's the kind of mentorship that can turn a good young player into a dude offenses have to game plan around. That's why I keep saying year 2 is the year to watch, because he was already good enough to flash, and now he gets the wisdom, the strength, the reps, and the confidence to turn those flashes into something normal. And he looked like he belonged. And when we talk about the physical traits, Please don't just say, oh, he is big. That is disrespectful to what makes him special. Derek Harmon is not just big, he's big with length. He is big with movement. He is big with suddenness. He has those long arms that let him get into an offensive lineman's chest before the lineman can lock on. And when a defensive lineman has reach and knows how to use it, he controls the rep. He can strike, separate, peek into the backfield, keep one arm free, and then throw the blocker away like he is taking out the trash. Harmon has that in his game. He can win with the club. He can win with the rip. He can work across the face. He can get skinny through a gap. He can use that first step to threaten one shoulder, force the guard to lean, and then all of a sudden the center is late, the quarterback is uncomfortable, and the pocket starts falling apart. That is the kind of interior disruption that ruins offenses. Edge pressure is great, but interior pressure is a different kind of pain. Quarterbacks can step up against the edge, but when the pocket gets destroyed from the inside, when a 300-pound man is walking your guard backward into your lap, there's nowhere to hide. That is when the play dies. That is when the quarterback starts speeding up. That is when the call sheet changes because the middle of the pocket is no longer safe. He is not just a bull rush guy. He has short area quickness. He can cross a blocker up. He can get vertical. He can chase down the line. He can pursue from the backside. That matters because the great defensive linemen don't only win when the call is designed for them to win, they create plays out of nothing. They take a basic run and turn it into 2nd and 9. They take play action and make the quarterback pull the ball down. They take a clean pocket and turn it into panic. The skill part is just as exciting because this dude is not raw in the way people act when they hear athletic defensive tackle. He has the foundation. The hands are there. The leverage is coming. The awareness is there. The versatility is there. He can play as a 5 technique. He can reduce inside. He can line up over the guard. He can be moved around. So the offense can't just settle in and say, okay, we know where he is every snap. For the Steelers, that is huge because they do not need a one-note player. They need a defensive lineman who can fit their front, eat blocks, rush the passer, stop the run, and still give you splash plays when the game is tight. Harmon checks those boxes, and when he gets more comfortable timing his rush, when he gets better at setting up blockers over the course of a game, when he starts using power to open up quickness and quickness to open up power, that is when it gets dangerous. He already has the tools to win. Year 2 is when he starts learning how to win on purpose over and over again with a plan. And that is why I'm telling you, year 2, Derek Harmon has a chance to be a problem, not a cute problem, not a little, oh, he might be solid problem. I'm talking about a grown man, phone booth, pocket collapsing, run stuffing, quarterback annoying, offensive line wrecking problem. Because the Steelers don't need him to become Aaron Donald. They need him to be Derek Harmon with the volume turned up. They need him to be that long, explosive, violent-handed interior force who can win early downs against the run and then punish guards on passing downs. They need him to take those rookie flashes and make them normal. That's the next step. The great players don't just flash, they repeat, and Harmon has the traits to get there. He has the length to control blockers. He has the power to walk people back. He has the quickness to split gaps. He has the athleticism to move across the front. He has the motor to chase. He has the skill set to develop a real pass rush plan. And most importantly, he is in the perfect environment to become exactly what the Steelers drafted him to be. Because when you start looking at the full picture, it is not just Harmon by himself. It is Harmon with Cam Heyward. It is Harmon learning from Cam, playing next to Cam, forcing offenses to choose who they are going to help on. Then you add Keanu Benton, another young interior piece who can bring power and disruption. You add Black, a massive body who can clog space, eat blocks, and make life miserable in the middle. You add Joseph Day, the veteran who knows how to play real NFL snaps and keep that front fresh. And then, as if that is not enough, you remember who is screaming off the edge. TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, Jack Sawyer, all those edge rushers the Steelers already have. All that speed and bend and violence outside. And now the interior is getting stronger too. Come on. That's how you create an unstoppable force. That's how you make quarterbacks speed up. That is how you take away the run game and force teams into 3rd and long. That is how you let the pass rush hunt. Because if Harmon and Heyward are collapsing the middle, and Benton and Black and Joseph Day are keeping bodies fresh, and the edge rushers are flying around the corner, where exactly is the quarterback supposed to go? Step up into Harmon, slide out into Watt, hold the ball, good luck. That is why Harmon's year 2 is so important, because if he takes that jump, the Steelers' defensive front goes from good to terrifying, and when that happens, everybody's going to look back and say, man, Pittsburgh got another one. And yes, they did. They got a beast. They got a tone setter, physical, violent, tough, disruptive, built for cold weather, built for AFC North football, built to make offensive linemen hate their job. Derek Harmon is coming into year 2 with the tools, the mentor, the room, and the opportunity. Now it is time for him to become the nightmare everybody should have seen coming.